Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 7.6, Notes, Day 3. We are still on applications of quadratic equations, but today we're going to be talking about solving quadratic equations involving the falling object equation. Let's read example number 1. Now, a ball is launched from a platform with an initial velocity of 32 feet per second. The height in feet, h, of the ball in t seconds after it is released is given by the quadratic equation h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 32t plus 20. Now, first off, we have seen equations like this. Okay, let me get my highlighter going. Gonna work? There we go. We've seen that before. That's called function form. Okay, so do not be scared about that. Now, some key information. It's telling us the velocity is 32 feet per second. That's our speed. Okay. It tells us that the height is in feet and the time is in seconds. Okay. Now, if any of you guys remember anything from physics, this is a physics equation. Okay. Now, let's talk about what they're envisioning right here. I'm going to draw a little picture. Now, it says that someone is on a platform. Okay. So there you go. There's my platform. And they're going to throw a ball. A ball is launched. Now, when you throw a ball, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. And that's the shape of a parabola. Okay? So, that's our nice little picture. There's our parabola. And any equation of a parabola is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Well, that looks like a lot of the things that we've been talking about already. So, we've got 3 questions that we've got to answer, and they're always going to be the same 3. Okay? What is the initial height of the ball? How long does it take for the ball to reach the height of a certain number? And then how long does it take for the ball to hit the ground? Okay? So, let's look at the first one. What is the initial height of the ball? Now, do we know how high that is? No. So we don't know the height, so that's kind of key right here. I'm going to say we don't know the height. What's the time? Has any time elapsed yet? No. Okay. There has been no time has passed, so that means t equals 0. So in our equation, h of t, t is 0. And if we plug in 0, oh, I'm sorry, that's 0 squared. But negative 16 times 0 squared, that cancels out. That cancels out. So h of 0 is 20, and that's 20 feet. Woohoo! So we know right here, that's not a question mark anymore. That's 20 feet. Okay? Now our next question is, how long does it take for the ball to reach a height of 32 feet? So what they're telling me right now is that the h equals 32. So we have 32 equals negative 16t squared plus 32t plus 20. Now, our leading coefficient is negative. So we we need to put everything onto the other side. So that means we're going to have to add 16t squared, subtract 32t, and minus 20. Sorry, I didn't write a lot of room for that. But when we do that, we get 16t squared minus 32t plus 12 equals 0. And now we can start to factor this. So, is there a GCF? Yeah, we can take out a 4 from all of that. And we get 4t squared minus 8t plus 3 equals 0. Now, let's start to factor it. 4 times 3, well, that gives us 12. You're looking for numbers. Let's see, let's write all the factors. You're looking for numbers that add up to get to negative 8 and multiply to get to 12. Okay? And that's negative 2 and negative 6. And that works in both cases. So when we split the middle term, we get 4t squared minus 2t plus, oh, I'm sorry, minus 6t plus 3 equals 0. And now off to the side, we need to factor that. We're going to be using the box method because right away we can figure out what our binomials are. Okay? We don't care how you factor, if you do split the middle term or whatever. As long as you're getting the correct answer, that's the key. All right, now the GCF of the top is 2t. Of the bottom is negative 3. Now of the left column, it's 2t. And over here, it's negative 1. So we get 2t minus 1, 2t minus 3 equals 0. And now we have to solve each one of those. So 2t minus 1 equals 0, and 2t minus 3 equals 0. Now, that part you can do. I'm going to pause the video. You guys are going to solve them. Okay? Good luck. Okay, now you should have gotten 1/2 and 3/2. Now, the key thing with time is we don't really say, oh, it was 1/2 or it was 3/2. We say exactly how much time it is. So for some of these, you are going to need to divide them out to figure out that it's 0.5 seconds or that it's 1.5 seconds, because we want to know the exact amount of time. Now, can a ball be at 32 feet at 2 different times? Well, yeah, if this right here is 32 feet, it'll be there going when it's going up, and then it'll hit 32 feet again once it's going down. Okay? So as long as time is not negative, because you can't go backwards in time, we can have 2 answers. Okay? And now the last one, C, is how long does it take for the ball to hit the ground? So now we're looking for, when is this ball, after it's been launched, hit the ground? Well, if it's hitting the ground, your height is 0, because it's all the way at the bottom. So when it's hitting the ground, make yourself a little note that's saying that the h equals 0. So 0 equals, we're going to use the same formula, negative 16t plus 32t squared plus 20. Right? can do two blah blah blah. We can do two different things. We can either move everything over to the other side because our leading coefficient is negative, or we can factor out our GCF as a -4. Okay? Both things are going to get you the same answer. But now our leading coefficient is positive, which is what we wanted. And then we're left with 4t squared minus 8t minus 5. And then that's where you come over to the other side, and we want to do the factors of 20. So 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. And out of those, which ones add up to get to -8? We'll multiply to get to -20. And that's 2 and -10. Okay? So when we split the middle term, like we just did, 4t squared plus 2t minus 10t minus 5. And so that's what we're going to put in all of the boxes. 2t minus 10t minus 5. Okay? The GCF of the top is 2t. Of the bottom, it's -5. Of the left column, once again, we've got 2t. And up here, there's nothing, so we take +1. So 2t plus 1 and 2t minus 5. So those are two things that we need to set equal to 0. Okay? Now, once again, I'm going to pause the video. I want you guys to solve those equations real quick, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, so there are two fractions now. -1/2, we just kind of talked about it. Can we go back in time half a second? No. Okay? Never. Olympians would love to do that to get a little bit faster time, but that's not going to happen. Now, 5 divided by 2, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, and the key thing is seconds. So what we're saying is, from this point right here to that ball hitting the ground takes 2.5 seconds. Okay? All right. Why don't you guys pause the video, read example number 2, and see if you can draw yourself a little picture. You can pause the video. Okay, now our equation is a little different, and that's okay because depending on how high you are when you throw something or what type of object you're throwing, it's going to have a slightly different equation. Okay, but here's my picture now. We're throwing something from a building, and let's get started. So the first question, once again, is asking what's the initial height, and that's where h equals, not h equals 0, I'm sorry, that the time equals 0. So h of 0 equals -16 squared plus 36 plus 36, and we're plugging in 0. Okay, so those guys cancel and tells us that h of 0 equals 36 feet. Okay, so on your little picture right now, we can tell that this building is 36 feet high. All right, the next one now is telling us that h equals 44. So 44 equals -16t squared plus 36t plus 36. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and see if you can move everything around so it one side equals 0 and your leading coefficient is positive. Okay, and when you do that, you should get 16t squared minus 36t plus 8 equals 0. Now, we need to take out our GCF, which is 4. And you get 4t squared minus 9t plus 2 equals 0. So off to the side, we need to factor that. We're looking for numbers that multiply to get to 8, which are 1 and 8, 2 and 4. So add up to -9 and multiply to get to 8. Hopefully you're not thinking too long on that one. -1 and -8. Split it up. 4t squared minus 1t minus 8t plus 2 equals 0. And then I'm going to pause it right here, and I want you guys to factor and see if you can solve it the rest of the way. Okay? Good luck. Okay, those should have been your two equations. If you didn't get that, copy it down, pause it, and then finish it off. Okay, so both of those times are positive. Now 1/4, if you think of quarters, t equals 0.25 seconds, and t equals 2 seconds. All right, how long does it take for the object to hit the ground? Oh, so real quick, just so we know, they're saying like, oh yeah, once again, it's going to hit at 2 different points. And so now we know that right up here, that's right around 40 feet, 44 feet. But the last one now, once again, we want to find out where it hits the ground, and where it hits the ground, the height is 0. Okay, so when we're setting up this equation, we've got 0 equals -16t squared plus 36t plus 36. Okay, and now this is where we can take out a GCF of a -4 and then solve it. So all on your own, guys. All I'm going to do is I'm going to have the answers up after you pause the video and try it yourself. Good luck. Okay, and there's all the work. Now, we cannot have -3/4. We cannot have negative time. Okay, so that's why it's only going to take 3 seconds for that ball to hit the ground. Okay? Now, if you have any questions over this or you need more assistance, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself because your test is coming up. All right? Now, your homework is the back side of it. It is only 2 problems because look at how long it took us. About 20 minutes to go through this. It took us about 30 minutes in class. All right? So if you need help, come and find us. This does take a lot of work, so you need to make sure to be very diligent in your factoring. Okay? And we would love to help you. So, but that's it for Algebra 2, Chapter 7.6 Notes, Day 3. Thanks for watching.